Good morning. It's May 27th. Yes, May 27th. Today's temperature is supposed to be 20 degrees, just shy of 70 Fahrenheit. So today we're going to hit these walls with Varathane. Okay, that was not my full cup of coffee. That's good. So I'm going to put 3 coats of Varathane on this, and hopefully it'll start to blend together, I guess is what I'm looking for. Because we have some spots that are a little lighter than other spots. Yeah. So hopefully that will fade away. So give me a few hours to put on the 3 coats of Varathane. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll sand it down and put on the 4th coat. So hang tight and see you soon. It's been about 5 hours now. I just recently finished putting the 3rd coat of Varathane on. So what I'm about to show you is pretty much what it's going to look like after I sand it and put the final coat on. It actually doesn't look too bad. We have one light spot here, which is okay. That's just glare. Over here we have one panel that is a little lighter than the rest of them. And up top, man, the brightness makes it look a lot worse than it really is now. But it's looking much better than it did before I put the Varathane on. It's almost like the Varathane made the lighter colors darker and the darker colors a little lighter. Like, this is much better than what it was before. Oh, that's dark. It's hard to see, like, this is actually quite dark. More like that. But over here, it's almost a dull color. Like, there's no shine whatsoever on that one spot. Same thing with these 2 spots here. And up here. It's almost like I didn't sand it fully either. It's almost like I didn't sand it fully there as well, so. And then back here, this is still a little wet, as you can see by the white. But otherwise it turned out pretty decently. I like it. Of course I'd like it. The old rustic look looks pretty decent. The one thing about sanding Varathane, you have to be very gentle with it. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier in my previous video. But when sanding it, what I'm going to be using is a 220 grit sandpaper. This won't even be ready for sanding. But when sanding, go with the green, as always. And yeah, it's not quite ready, still a little damp. When you're sanding though, you'll know you're at pretty much the right time to sand. When you're sanding it, you'll get a white powder coming off, and that's when you know the Varathane is dry enough to sand. So I have to wait about another hour or so before I can start sanding this, just to make sure, because I put on 3 pretty thick coats of the Varathane. I like these colors. Only if all of them were like this. So that's those walls Varathaned. So that's it for today. Like I said, I'm just going to sand it, then put the last coat of Varathane on, and it's going to look just like this, but smoother. That's it for today. Have a good one. Catch you next time. I know I called it the end of the day earlier, but after about an hour of sanding, I thought I'd show you what it looks like, even with the dust on, still. So as I said, when you're sanding, when you start to sand, you want to make sure you have this white powder, like the Verathane. If you're sanding, where's my sandpaper? Right here, you can see how it's a little darker. That spot was still a little wet, so it clogged up on the sandpaper. If you get anything like that, stop immediately. Wait another 15 minutes or so and continue sanding. So yeah, I've just been going over everything, making sure it's nice and glossy and smooth. You can see how much stuff came off. And you want to make sure you do not use any form of a power sander. No orbital sander, no palm sander, not even a little mouse sander, because this stuff is not on there. It's very, very thin. So the power sander, like the palm or the orbital sander, will just take it right down to the stain very, very quickly, and before you know it, you have to restain. It doesn't take long. But otherwise, that's what it looks like. I'm just gonna take a spray bottle, spray it down a little bit, and clean it up as I go. Use a cloth. I'll show you that. I'll show you what I mean. Let me pause you for a second, get you set up, and we'll quickly do this area. Another good reason to sand by hand is this way, as you're sanding, you can feel how smooth it is as you go along. So, simply, if it ever starts to spray, there we go. The reason I have the sprayer on mist is so this way the water disperses all over very gently and it keeps the dust down. So this way I don't have to clean it up, then come back again later because there's dust all over the place again because I put it on jet or more of a stream. So you want it as a fine mist. Right now I'm just going to get a majority of the surface dust off. Then I'll come back with another clean rag and get the stuff that's embedded in. Like the stuff that's in the grooves here and everything. So. I'm not going to say that simple and it's done. I still have to come back and hit it a second time because I did leave quite a bit of stuff behind. But pretty much that simple. Spray bottle on mist setting, the finest mist setting you can get, the finest mist setting you can put it on, and very gently spray. Then wipe it down. Do that to get the really thick dust off. Come by with a clean rag again, your spray bottle, hit it a second time. Try to get all the stuff that's in pretty deep. Then put your final coat of varnish on. So okay, that is it for today. Will it be? Do not. I'm just going to clean this up, get it all done, put the final coat on, and I'll show you what it looks like with the final coat. It'll just be like as it was earlier, but cleaner. So hang tight and we'll be right back. So I actually gave it another little quick sanding. And it made the color go a little lighter. So I sanded it. Oh, you saw me clean it. So I gave it another sanding. I cleaned it again. And it made the darker colors go a little lighter. It looks much better now. Much more worn down. And I still have a little bit of cleanup to do. Hopefully that dries clean. But otherwise it looks better. I think so anyway. You probably can't see much of a difference because the way the light is constantly changing. We still have this light spot. No big deal. But I think it's turned out pretty well. That's still dark as usual. And this I just finished putting the Varathane on, so it still looks glossy. It'll dry flat, hopefully. There we go. Whoa, too dark, too dark. Okay, so that truly is it for today. Honestly, no more coming back. So, see you next time. Have a good one.